So let us see in detail what are irrational numbers. Okay. See, we saw that irrational numbers are those that cannot be expressed in the form p by q, and the decimal representation is non-terminating and non-recurring. And the best examples of irrational numbers are square root of all prime numbers. Hope you all know what prime numbers are. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, that doesn't have any other factors other than 1 and the number itself are prime numbers. So the square root of all prime numbers comes under irrational numbers, and you can check it out by finding out the square root of 2 or 3 or whatever all prime numbers, and you can see that the decimal expansion is non-terminating and non-recurring. Okay, just try it out. Okay, we're going to see how to represent irrational numbers on the number line. So in short, all real numbers can be represented on the number line, because we saw that all rational numbers can be represented on the number line. That is, all fractions, integers, all can be represented on the number line. And we are going to learn how to represent a root 2 on the number line. You may be wondering, how are we going to represent root 2 on the number line? Okay, let us see. Before going into that portion, let us go back to the Pythagoras theorem, what it states. In any right angled triangle, the base square plus altitude square is equal to hypotenuse square. So let me take a triangle of 1 unit base and 1 unit altitude, and hypotenuse will get it as, see, hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus altitude square. That means 1 square plus 1 square is equal to 2. Therefore, hypotenuse is equal to root 2. So you can see that the measurement of root 2 is here on a line. Hope you got an idea about how to find out how this has been. We have got this value of root 2 here on the line. So this is the measurement. This is the measurement of root 2. The same principle we are going to follow, and we are going to do a problem on how to represent root 2 on the number line. Frequently asked question to represent root 2 on the, how to show that, or please represent root 2 on the number line. So what you have to do is first draw a line. We are going to take 1 unit as the base and 1 unit as the altitude here. So the line joining here vertically 1 unit, and the base, that is horizontal on the number line, also 1 unit. So you can draw it by using a scale, a ruler, a ruler, and you can see that you can take 1 unit. For my convenience, I have taken 2 centimeter as 1 unit. So the line joining these 2 points is the hypotenuse, and you can see that how we got root 2 here. See, this is the measurement of root 2. So how are we going to represent this root 2 on the number line? Just take the measurement of this root 2 here and draw the arc with the same radius on the number line. You are going to draw an arc of same radius, that is the same measurement, on the number line. Okay, so here we have got the value of root 2 on the number line. So this is root 2. We have represented root 2 on the number line. Hope you're clear what I've done here. See, this is the same explanation is being carried over to this number line also. So this is the method how to find out the root 2, represent root 2 on the number line. Now we're going to see how to represent root 3 on the number line. Okay. See, let us see how to represent root 3 on the number line. We have already seen that how we have represented root 2 on the number line, and we can see that the root 2 is represented here. So whenever you are asked to represent any root of prime numbers on the number line, always check whether you're getting the same value as the hypotenuse. That means here when you're asked to represent root 3 on the number line, you have to get the hypotenuse as root 3. So the values you're going to take is, how are we going to get root 3, or 3 as hypotenuse square should get it as 3. So you can take it as root 2 square plus 1 square. That means root 2 square is 2 itself and 1 square is 1. That means OB square, or hypotenuse square, is equal to 3, or OB is equal to square root of 3. So in order to represent root 3 on the number line, the first thing you have to do is represent root 2 first, and then taking this root 2 as the base, and you're going to draw a vertical line with 1 unit. So root 2 as the base, Again, I'm saying root 2 as the base and 1 as the vertical unit, and you're going to join this line and you're going to get root 3. So in order to draw root 3, first you have to take root 2 and then 1 as vertical unit, and will be getting root 3. Now let us see how to represent root 5 on the number line. See, again I've told you that in order to get a root 5, you should get hypotenuse square as 5. So let us think over that. How are we going to get hypotenuse square as 5? What are the two things that when we square and add, we get 5? It is 2 and 1. 2 square, you get it as 4, and 1 square, you get it as 1. That means 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. That means hypotenuse square is equal to 5. So whenever a value has been asked, you have to find those values, a combination of those values, such that when you square and add them, you get that whatever a question has been asked. So whenever you are asked to find if you are asked to find out root 5, you have to find out the combos of those values such that hypotenuse square is equal to 5. That means 2 square plus 1 square. So you're going to take the unit of 2 here, base as 2, and 1 unit on the vertical position. So 2 square plus 1 square, you're going to get 2 square plus 4 plus 1 is 5. That is, this is root 5. Now taking a compass and taking the value of root 5 here, and you're going to mark this value on the number line. See, this is root 5. So you have represented root 5 on the number line. So for root 7 you have to draw the root 3 first, and we're going to take root 3 as base, and on the vertical position we are going to draw 2 centimeters. So root 3 square plus 2 square, you get it as root 7.